Before you head to the airport for your next flight, there's something most travelers still don't realize, and it could seriously impact your trip. Your phone, the one device you carry everywhere, is now getting more attention at airport security than ever before. TSA and border agents have expanded authority to inspect electronic devices in certain situations, and many passengers are being caught completely off guard. This isn't about conspiracy or fear, it's about knowing what's actually happening and how to protect yourself. Photos, messages, apps, downloads, and even things you forgot were on your phone can raise questions, delay you, or in rare cases lead to confiscation or denial of entry. Seniors and frequent travelers are especially vulnerable because they often assume personal devices are private and off limits. That assumption is no longer always true. The problem is, no one explains this clearly at the airport. By the time an officer asks to see your phone, it's already too late to fix anything. That's why this video is important. We're going to walk through the things you should seriously consider deleting or cleaning up before you fly. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because misunderstandings happen fast in security settings. This is about reducing risk, avoiding unnecessary stress, and keeping your travel smooth from check-in to arrival. If you travel even once a year, this information matters. And if you're traveling internationally, it matters even more. Before we get into the details, take a moment to support the channel by hitting the like button, because it helps this video reach other travelers who need this information. Subscribe so you don't miss future updates on TSA rules, airport changes, and travel tips that airlines don't always explain clearly. And share this video with someone you care about, because one simple mistake on a phone can cause hours of delays at the airport. Now let's get into what TSA is really looking at and what you should delete before flying. 1. Old messages, emails, and conversations that can be misunderstood. One of the biggest risks on your phone before flying isn't illegal content, it's misunderstood content. Text messages, emails, and chat conversations taken out of context can raise unnecessary questions during a security check. TSA and border officers are trained to look for intent, not jokes, sarcasm, or personal shorthand. Messages that mention words like bomb, gun, attack, smuggle, drugs, cash, or even exaggerated jokes between friends can look very different to an officer who doesn't know you. Many travelers forget that years of conversations live on their phones. Seniors in particular often keep long message histories and email threads without ever clearing them out. A joke sent years ago, a forwarded email, or a group chat comment can suddenly become a problem if seen during a phone inspection. Another issue is deleted but not deleted messages. Some apps archive conversations instead of removing them entirely. Officers scrolling quickly may see partial previews without context. Another overlooked area is email inboxes. Travel-related emails, job discussions, or financial messages can raise questions if they suggest working abroad, staying long-term, or carrying large amounts of money. Border officers are especially sensitive to anything that hints at violating visa or entry conditions. Even innocent discussions about helping a friend or staying longer than planned can trigger follow-up questioning. Another risk is unsent drafts. Many people don't realize draft emails and messages are still stored on the device. A half-written thought can look suspicious without explanation. Another area is voice notes and saved audio messages. These are rarely reviewed by owners but are still accessible. Clearing old conversations doesn't mean deleting your life. It means reducing risk. The goal is not to hide wrongdoing, but to prevent confusion. Security settings move fast, and once an officer starts asking questions, the situation can escalate quickly. Cleaning up old messages before flying is a simple step that gives officers nothing unnecessary to question. A clean inbox and message history keeps the focus on your travel, not your phone. 2. Photos and videos that could trigger extra scrutiny. Photos and videos are another major area where travelers get caught off guard. Your camera roll often contains years of images you don't even remember taking. Screenshots, forwarded photos, memes, and downloaded images can all be stored together, and officers don't know the backstory. Pictures of firearms, ammunition, military equipment, protest signs, large sums of cash, prescription bottles, or restricted locations can all raise questions. Even photos taken at shooting ranges, museums, or during historical tours can be misinterpreted without explanation. Seniors are often unaware of how many images are stored automatically through messaging apps or social media downloads. Another overlooked issue is screenshots. Boarding passes, maps, financial transfers, or medical prescriptions saved as screenshots can suggest things you never intended to explain. Another risk is cloud syncing. Deleting a photo from one folder doesn't always remove it from backups or synced albums. Officers may scroll quickly and see thumbnails without context. Another issue is memes or jokes involving violence, drugs, or threats. What looks funny at home may look concerning in a security environment. Another hidden area is the recently deleted folder. Many phones keep deleted photos for weeks. If not emptied, they're still accessible. Videos pose even greater risk because short clips can be misread instantly. A video of a crowded place, a restricted area, or equipment can raise alarms even if it was harmless. The safest approach before flying is a quick review of your camera roll. Remove anything that could be misunderstood, even if it's legal and innocent. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Your phone tells a story, and you want that story to be boring, clear, and uneventful during airport security. 3. Apps that reveal too much about your finances, work, or travel intentions. One of the most underestimated risks on your phone before flying is the collection of apps that quietly reveal far more about your life than you realize. Banking apps, investment platforms, payment services, work dashboards, and even gig or freelance apps can create misunderstandings during a phone inspection. TSA itself focuses on security, but during enhanced screenings or international travel, officers may question intent. Financial apps showing large balances, frequent transfers, or foreign payments can lead to questions about undeclared cash or work abroad. Seniors are often surprised by this because they assume apps are private and irrelevant to travel. Another issue is work-related apps. Email accounts linked to employers, remote work platforms, scheduling tools, or business messaging apps can suggest you plan to work while traveling, even if that's not true. Border officers are trained to look for indicators of unauthorized work. Even something as simple as a work calendar filled with future dates can raise questions. Another overlooked risk is travel planning apps. Notes, saved itineraries, or long-term accommodation bookings can suggest extended stays beyond allowed limits. Officers don't always ask first, they observe patterns. Another hidden issue is rideshare and delivery apps. Frequent usage in certain regions can suggest residency rather than tourism. Another area is cloud storage apps. Documents stored there may include contracts, resumes, invoices, or personal records you forgot existed. These can be opened easily if an officer navigates the app. Another risk comes from cryptocurrency wallets. Even if legal, unfamiliar balances or transaction histories may trigger questions you're not prepared to answer. The goal before flying is not deleting everything, but minimizing exposure. Logging out of non-essential apps, removing unused platforms, and clearing cached data can reduce what's visible. You're not doing anything wrong. You're controlling the narrative your phone presents. In security environments, less information means fewer questions. When your phone shows only what's necessary for travel, inspections stay brief and uneventful. 4. Search history, notes, and downloads you forgot were there. Search history and personal notes are another area travelers rarely think about, yet they often cause the most confusion. Your phone remembers everything you search, even things done out of curiosity. Searching phrases related to laws, restricted items, security procedures, medications, or travel loopholes can look suspicious without context. Seniors often research thoroughly before trips, which is smart, but officers don't see intention. They see keywords. Another overlooked issue is saved notes. Many people use their phone's notes app like a digital brain dump. Lists, reminders, copied articles, or half-written thoughts can be misinterpreted easily. A note about packing items, carrying cash, or meeting someone can raise questions if seen without explanation. Another risk is saved documents. Boarding passes, medical letters, prescriptions, and legal paperwork may be stored alongside unrelated files. Officers scrolling quickly may misread file names alone. Another hidden issue is downloads. PDFs, images, or videos downloaded for offline viewing often remain long after you forget about them. These may include articles, screenshots, or files shared by others. Another overlooked area is browser tabs. Many people keep dozens of tabs open for months. Those tabs reflect interests, plans, and research that may no longer be relevant, but still visible. Another concern is translation apps with saved phrases or conversations. These can suggest communication plans you're not actually pursuing. Clearing search history, reviewing notes, closing tabs, and deleting old downloads doesn't erase your knowledge. It removes confusion. The goal is clarity. Security checks move fast, and officers don't analyze deeply. They react to what they see. When your phone contains fewer ambiguous clues, inspections stay short. A clean digital slate before flying reduces risk, stress, and delays, keeping your journey focused on travel, not explanations. 5. Social media posts, likes, and saved content that can be taken out of context. Social media is one of the most misunderstood areas during phone checks, and many travelers underestimate how much information it reveals at a glance. Officers don't need to scroll for long to form impressions. Your profile bio, recent posts, saved content, likes, comments, and even shared memories can quickly suggest intentions that may not reflect reality. A post joking about travel chaos, security, borders, or authority figures can be misread without tone or context. Seniors often share news articles, memes, or commentary without realizing how it appears to someone unfamiliar with their personality. Another risk comes from old posts resurfacing. Social platforms frequently resurface memories from years ago. A post shared long before current travel plans can still appear prominently. Another issue is group memberships. Being part of online groups related to politics, activism, weapons, alternative medicine, or travel loopholes can raise questions even if participation is passive. Another overlooked area is saved videos or bookmarked posts. Content involving protests, restricted locations, or controversial topics may have been saved out of curiosity, not intent. Another risk involves private messages within social platforms. These are often forgotten, but still accessible. Conversations discussing plans, frustrations, or opinions can look very different under scrutiny. Another hidden issue is location history. Many apps tag locations automatically. Frequent check-ins or tagged posts in certain regions can suggest patterns of movement beyond tourism. Another concern is mismatched narratives. If your social media suggests long stays, remote work, or repeated travel to one area, it may conflict with what you verbally state at the airport. Officers notice inconsistencies quickly. Another overlooked detail is language. Translations and slang don't always carry meaning across cultures. A harmless phrase in one country may sound alarming in another. The safest approach before flying is to review recent posts, remove anything that could be misinterpreted, and archive old content that no longer reflects your plans. You don't need to delete your online presence, just reduce ambiguity. Social media should not become a storyline during security checks. When profiles appear neutral, casual, and travel-focused, officers move on faster. Your goal is not perfection, it's simplicity. The less explanation required, the smoother your journey will be. 6. Device settings, hidden files, and access points that invite deeper inspection. The final area many travelers overlook is not content itself, but how accessible their phone is during inspection. Device settings, hidden folders, and unlocked access points can unintentionally invite deeper scrutiny. When a phone opens instantly with full access, officers may scroll further simply because they can. Seniors often disable security features for convenience, not realizing this increases exposure. Another overlooked issue is hidden folders or secure vaults. Even if they contain innocent items, their presence can raise curiosity. Officers may question why certain content is concealed. Another risk is multiple user profiles on one device. This can suggest shared use, business activity, or account switching, all of which can trigger questions. Another issue is synced devices. Tablets, smartwatches, or cloud-linked accounts can surface additional data without you realizing it. Another overlooked area is file managers. Many phones store cached files, thumbnails, and remnants of deleted content. These can appear during searches even if you believe they're gone. Another concern is unlocked email accounts. If work and personal email are both open, officers may scroll through headers quickly, forming assumptions without context. Another issue is notifications. Pop-up notifications from apps during inspection can reveal private information unexpectedly. A message preview alone can change the direction of questioning. Another risk involves voice assistants. Search history, reminders, and saved commands are often accessible through these tools. Another overlooked detail is battery level. A low battery can increase stress and limit your ability to control what's shown. Preparation means adjusting settings before travel. Lock sensitive apps, log out of non-essential accounts, disable previews, and ensure your phone requires authentication to access deeper areas. You are not hiding wrongdoing, you are setting boundaries. A phone that requires intentional access signals normal privacy, not suspicion. When your device presents only what's necessary, inspections remain surface level. Control access, reduce visibility, and your phone becomes just another travel tool, not a source of delay or concern. 7. Downloaded files, PDFs, and offline content you forgot you saved. Downloaded files are one of the quietest but most dangerous areas on a phone during travel inspections, because they are easy to forget and easy to misinterpret. Over time, most phones collect PDFs, documents, images, and videos that were saved for convenience and never deleted. These might include airline policies, legal articles, medical research, news stories, or forwarded files from friends and family. On their own, These files are harmless. In a security setting, however, file names and partial previews can raise unnecessary questions. A PDF about regulations, prohibited items, or security procedures can look suspicious without explanation. Seniors often download information to read later and then forget it exists. Another issue is file naming. Many files retain original names that include alarming keywords, even if the content itself is neutral. Another overlooked problem is offline maps. Saved maps of airports, border crossings, or specific facilities may appear intentional even if they were downloaded simply for navigation. Another risk comes from ebooks or articles stored offline. Topics involving politics, protests, conflicts, or controversial subjects may attract attention even if read purely for education. Another hidden area is messaging app downloads. Images, videos, and documents sent through messaging apps are often auto-saved to storage folders. You may not recognize them immediately, but they are still accessible. Another concern is work-related files. Contracts, invoices, presentations, or resumes stored offline can suggest business activity or intent to work while traveling. Another overlooked detail is duplicates. A file deleted in one folder may still exist in another location or cache. Another issue is compressed files or zip folders. These often trigger curiosity because their contents are not immediately visible. Another risk involves screenshots saved as files rather than images. Financial records, confirmations, or messages may appear without context. Before flying, reviewing downloaded files and clearing anything non-essential reduces ambiguity. The goal is not deleting knowledge, it's removing confusion. When your device contains fewer forgotten files, there's less material for misunderstanding. Clean storage sends a clear message that your phone is for personal use, not hidden agendas. In travel security environments, clarity protects you. 8. Contacts, calendars, and saved information that can create the wrong story. Contacts and calendars are another area travelers rarely think about, yet they quietly tell a detailed story about your life and plans. A long contact list with labels like business, client, contractor, or foreign numbers can raise questions during inspection. Seniors often keep years of contacts without cleanup, including old business relationships or international connections that are no longer active. Another overlooked issue is contact notes. Many phones allow notes attached to contacts, such as meeting details, addresses, or reminders. These notes can suggest ongoing commitments even if they are outdated. Another risk involves calendar entries. Saved events, reminders, or repeating schedules can indicate plans that conflict with what you verbally state at the airport. A calendar showing long stays, recurring meetings, or future dates abroad may suggest residency or work intentions. Another hidden issue is shared calendars. Family or work calendars synced to your phone may include events that don't involve you directly, but still appear under your account. Another concern is location-based reminders. These can suggest you plan to be in certain places for reasons unrelated to tourism. Another overlooked area is notes linked to travel planning. Lists of tasks, meetups, or errands can look like obligations rather than casual plans. Another risk is outdated information. Old calendar entries from past trips may still be visible and misread as upcoming plans. Another issue involves synced email calendars. Even if you don't actively use them, events may still display. Another detail is contact frequency. Recent calls or messages to certain contacts can suggest coordination or intent. Before flying, reviewing upcoming calendar entries and removing outdated events helps keep your narrative consistent. Cleaning contact notes and hiding irrelevant calendars reduces confusion. You're not erasing your life, you're aligning what your phone shows with why you're traveling. In security environments, consistency matters. When your phone reflects simple tourism and personal connections, questioning stays minimal. A clear digital timeline keeps your journey focused on travel, not explanations. 9. Voice memos, call logs, and audio files that can be misinterpreted. Voice-related content on your phone is one of the least reviewed and most easily misunderstood categories during any inspection. Voice memos, saved audio notes, call recordings, and long call logs quietly build up over time, especially for seniors who use voice features for reminders or communication. A short voice memo reminding yourself about travel plans, money, medications, or meeting someone can sound very different when heard without context. Officers don't know if a note was meant as a personal reminder or part of something else. Another overlooked risk is call history. Frequent calls to certain international numbers, businesses, or unfamiliar contacts may raise questions. especially if they appear recent and repeated. Even innocent coordination with family or service providers can look suspicious if officers don't understand the relationship. Another issue is voicemail storage. Old voicemails often remain saved automatically. A voicemail discussing delays, problems, or frustrations can be misinterpreted when heard out of context. Another hidden risk is recorded calls. Some phones automatically save call recordings depending on settings or apps. These files may include sensitive discussions you forgot existed. Another overlooked area is audio files received through messaging apps. Voice notes sent by others are often stored locally. You may not remember them, but they're still accessible. Another concern is transcription previews. Some phones display text previews of voice messages, which can expose keywords instantly. Another risk involves smart assistants. Voice commands, reminders, and audio histories may be accessible through system settings. Another issue is tone. Sarcasm, humor, or stress can sound alarming without explanation. Another overlooked detail is file naming. Audio files are often labeled with dates or generic names that provide no context. Before flying, reviewing and deleting old voice memos, clearing voicemail storage, and trimming call history reduces exposure. This isn't about hiding conversations. It's about avoiding confusion. In security environments, audio content is taken literally. A phone free of forgotten voice data keeps inspections calm, brief, and focused. Silence, in this case, truly is protection. 10. Backups, synced accounts, and data you didn't realize was still accessible. The final and most misunderstood risk on your phone before flying is data you believe is gone, but is still accessible through backups and synced accounts. Many travelers delete files, messages, and photos without realizing they remain stored in cloud backups, secondary folders, or linked accounts. Seniors are especially affected because devices are often set up years earlier with automatic syncing enabled. Even if content is removed from the main screen, it may still appear in cloud drives, photo archives, or account histories. Another overlooked issue is email syncing. Multiple email accounts may be logged in simultaneously, including old work or shared family accounts. Officers scrolling quickly may see inbox headers that suggest business, finances, or obligations unrelated to your trip. Another risk is cloud photo libraries. Deleted photos may still appear under shared albums, archives, or recently deleted folders. Another concern is app syncing. Notes, reminders, and files may sync across devices, making them visible even if deleted locally. Another overlooked area is browser account syncing. Search history, bookmarks, and saved passwords may sync automatically across devices and reappear. Another risk involves social media backups. Draft posts, archived stories, and saved messages may still be accessible. Another issue is device migration data. When phones are upgraded, old data often transfers automatically. You may not remember what came with it. Another concern is family sharing. Content from shared accounts may appear on your device without your direct involvement. Another overlooked detail is offline access. Files marked for offline use remain stored locally even after deletion elsewhere. Before flying, reviewing backup settings, logging out of non-essential accounts, and limiting sync access reduces unintended exposure. You don't need to erase your digital life. You need to control visibility. A phone that only shows current, relevant data tells a simple story. In airport security, simplicity is safety. When backups are managed and synced data is limited, your phone becomes what it should be: a personal device, not an open archive. Before you fly, remember this: airport security doesn't have time to understand your life story. They react to what they see in front of them. And your phone quietly says a lot more than you realize. Most travelers who run into problems didn't do anything illegal. They were simply unprepared for how easily innocent content can be misunderstood in a high-pressure environment. Taking a few minutes to clean up your phone isn't about fear or hiding anything. It's about protecting yourself from unnecessary stress, delays, and uncomfortable questioning. When your device is simple, clear, and focused only on travel essentials, inspections tend to move quickly and smoothly. These small steps give you back control at a moment when most people feel powerless. If this video helped you understand what to watch out for, make sure you support the channel by hitting the like button so this information reaches more travelers who need it. Subscribe to the channel for more travel tips, TSA updates, and airport advice airlines don't always explain clearly. And don't forget to share this video with friends or family who travel, because one forgotten file or message can turn a smooth trip into a stressful one. Thanks for watching, travel smart, and we'll see you in the next video.